Well, I don't know if we just had an earthquake or not, folks, but the building here at Watch Fox definitely just shook. Gonna try and find out if that indeed was. So definitely stay tuned with that. Alexis, you may want to check. You can even call over National Weather Service too. They may have a link to that. Alexis King in the Weather Center right now. But very interesting, folks. Nonetheless, let's go on and talk about what we do know right now, and that is the potential for seeing, well, more rain tonight. And that rainfall out there tonight is going to continue to roll in during the overnight hours. You can see a lot of heavy activity pushing through Atlanta up towards the Charleston area. And as this gets especially into the upstate, we could see this actually changing over to produce a few snow flurries even here in the Midlands. Will not actually amount to anything that you need to be concerned about in the form of the white stuff, but regardless, it certainly will not surprise me if some people report seeing some snowflakes. If we do get an earthquake reported, which I think just happened, that actually was a little bit of a shocker. All right, taking a look again at what we're dealing with. While it's quiet now, that will gradually change. Let me slide out of the way, and we'll look at some of these real-time numbers on the WeatherBug Network. We are dealing with temperatures in the 40s in Ridgeway, according to our scan site. Notice the Gamecock background, and that is courtesy of the game tomorrow. That's right. Opening day finally for the Gamecocks. Clemson opening day today. Of course, Brown will have those highlights coming up later on. Heathwood Hall at 49 degrees. South-southwest wind at about 4 miles per hour. And 48 degrees in Irmo at this hour. 49 in Ferry Chevrolet. All right, so what we're going to continue to deal with tonight is temperatures that will drop. We're going to get a northwesterly wind flow, and that northwesterly wind flow that pushes in is going to bring a reinforcing shot of cooler air, low 50s. Versus rebounding into those mid and upper 50s by tomorrow. And don't worry, it's going to be short-lived. And then we're going to get this warmer air mass to slide on into the region as we head really into next week. In fact, you're going to forget about this snow mess that we're dealing with the last couple of days. All right, future watch. Here's that front that pushes through. Rain, we're going to see it tonight, I'm pretty sure. So I've got chances at 80%. And then by midnight, we are going to be dealing with or rather noon tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with clearing sky. That'll take us through the afternoon and into tomorrow evening as well. As far as the overnight forecast, well, we will see the shower chances picking up, 34 degrees, a west wind as you're waking up by about 10 to 15 to try and get that maybe morning time jog in. It's going to be pretty chilly for that. Going into the 40s by lunchtime, 50s by the afternoon. Look for some sunshine out there, but it's going to be breezy. So factor that into the equation as well for even the baseball game. Speaking of the baseball game, can you believe it's finally time to play ball? Let's take a look at that forecast tomorrow. Brian was telling me they are playing 9 innings for both games. Not the typical 7-inning doubleheader, but there will be 9 innings in both games. First pitch around 48 degrees, which by the way is at noon, 53 for the 7th inning stretch. And we'll see temperatures around 54 for the 9th inning of the first game, dropping down into the 40s during the second game. Clemson fans, well, if you're heading up to watch Clemson play, 50s with sunshine, a west-northwest wind at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's what we're looking at for the 7-day forecast, 70s. That's right,
yeah.
Maybe near 80 degrees and a chance of a thunderstorm by next week. I'm very curious if...
Everybody's been tweeting and Facebooking about it, so we clearly did have a little minor earthquake.
Okay, Alexis, you see anything yet? Okay, she's looking at the government's earthquake site right now, and obviously I'm sure that will get updated in a moment.
Daryl and I were almost about to just run out.
Leaving.
We were unhooking.
It was kind of one of those when it happened as we were looking at each other. They're running out, the weather open is playing, and I'm like, do I stand here and wait for it? See if a light falls on me? Or
yeah, that's the first thing. I was like, this equipment's coming down.
All for himself in that instance. Gotta go. We're on the 6th floor of the building here.
Regardless, even if it's before next weather, we'll try and get an answer for you also after the break. I'm going to check with the folks at the Weather Service if they've got anything in. Alexis is at the government site, and even Sports Director Brian McConkey on the phone right now. So,
and obviously, you know, the epicenter had to be far away because you felt it, but it wasn't as heavy as an earthquake would have been if you were near the epicenter, which is great, obviously.
And all honesty, folks, he would know. He lived through the Burbank
I've been in California
earthquake.
when there was an earthquake.
The Northridge quake.
Northridge, I'm sorry, the Northridge quake that happened. Was that 95, 96?
I almost want to say it was 90. 6 maybe. I do remember it was Martin Luther King's birthday though.
Okay.
And they just had like the 20-year anniversary of it a while ago. But you know, usually right at the beginning of whether you get ready to run because you feel it out. You're like, is this going to stop or is this going to keep going?
I was about
well, live TV.
Yeah.
You gotta love it.
Yeah. On a Friday night.
Saw it here first, only on Watch Fox.
It's Valentine's Day. Maybe we're all shook up with love.
You felt it here first.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that I would say, but I'll give you a check mark for that. Yeah. Well, anyway, still.